Chapter 1111. Smith stood at the bow of the boat, waiting with a few dozen armed men. Wilbur took a quick glance at them before letting Monza head over to talk to Smith. After exchanging a few words, they began ushering the women onto the boat. Some of the women who tried to retaliate were beaten down. Their cries of agony filled the air. Wilbur stared ahead emotionlessly. After all the women finally boarded the boat, Smith ordered the person steering it to sail away from the shore into the distance. Monza came up to Wilbur then, bowing to him. "The trade's complete, sir." "Okay. Let's go." Wilbur turned around, heading down the path he had come from. Monza scrambled to follow behind him. Wilbur smiled wordlessly. Both of them returned to the Leaker headquarters and reported everything to Demi. Demi glanced at the new transaction in the company's accounts with a smile. "Good work. I'll give you a bonus in your next pay. You can head back to rest now." Both men left then. Monza returned to the nearby security headquarters, and Wilbur returned to his room and fell asleep on his bed. A little over an hour later, Wilbur used his spirit energy to create an illusion of him sleeping. At the same time, he hid his form with his spirit energy, blending into his surroundings and sneaking out of the building. Wilbur only dropped the camouflage after he had left the area completely, taking off in a wild sprint along the narrow, bumpy trails. After over an hour of running, he finally caught sight of the boat near river mouth of the Mako River. Wilbur did not rush to do anything, following from behind slowly. His figure looked like a supernatural being behind the boat, hovering above the water and bobbing along with the waves. It was only after the boat had entered Mako River for some time that Wilbur began to run. All at once, a white wave pulled up on the river in a straight line. Smith and the others only realized that there was an intruder when Wilbur leaped onto the boat. Amidst their panic, Wilbur summoned Dark Disperse and began his massacre. Now that he could let loose with his real power, no one could hold up against him at all. Bodies littered the ground that he crossed, with blood painting the floor of the boat bright red. Wilbur first took down the guards watching over the women before taking off toward the boat's cockpit under their terrified stares. Smith was watching the door of the cockpit nervously, along with 2 ambience-level cultivators and several elite bodyguards. With a loud bang, the cockpit's door was kicked open by Wilbur as he walked in. Smith's face paled when he saw who it was. "So, you're really a spy." "I'm not. But I'm a Dashan myself. Did you really think I would stand and watch something like this happen without doing anything?" Wilbur asked coldly. Smith gasped in terror before shouting, "Kill him." The elite bodyguards raised their assault rifles, firing at Wilbur one after the other. Both the ambience-level cultivators channeled all their spiritual energy as well, drawing their spiritual swords to attack Wilbur. Wilbur flicked Dark Disperse in a downward motion. Every bullet fired toward him was split in half. The elite bodyguards had their torsos chopped off. The 2 ambience-level cultivators had barely raised their spiritual swords when the Dark Disperse cut their heads right off their shoulders. It was only when their heads hit the ground that both of them realized that they were far from qualified to go up against Wilbur. This man had turned out to be at the sanctuary level. Wilbur smiled as he slowly walked up to Smith.